Hi, this is John Zwarzina here with Jeff Green, and we're going to go over a land trust agreement today. Jeff, how you doing?
I am doing great. How are you, John?
Fantastic. Why don't you explain to these fine viewers how to fill out a land trust agreement for property that they're purchasing?
Well, this is most likely the number one asked question in real estate. What's a land trust? How do I use it? People don't understand it. It is very, very simple. There's three parts of a trust agreement. Basically, you've got the trustee or the manager who does the business on behalf of the trust. You actually have the owner who is the beneficiary or settler or grantor, the actual owner. And the third part of it is just the trust itself. A trust is actually a vehicle for holding property. And the way we do it is for about the last 14 to 15 years, we've been buying everything in a land trust. We have LLCs as the trustees, other LLCs possibly as the beneficiary. And that's how we report it on our tax return, which is very important. Land trusts go way back, and the names of land trusts go way back. Walt Disney World actually bought all of his property that he has in Orlando, and they did it through different agents and different land trust names, and therefore he was able to get away with it because if anybody caught wind of what he was doing, they would have turned around, jacked up their prices, or wanted a lot more money for their land if they knew that they were going to build this Disney World right there in Orlando. So that's the history of the land trust. It goes way back, and there was a lot of land in Florida, and that's why they were doing land trust, because that was the easiest way to facilitate the sale. So as we spoke about that, the good parts about it and why, basically you have the date right here. A lot of lenders, they want to see UAD right here to the right of the date under agreement dated. So a lot of times we'll put that depending on if you're using hard money, private money, or if anybody really cares, but they put UAD under agreement dated and then put the number right there. So here you have Instinctive Measures Inc., one of our corporations. They're the beneficiary or actual owner of the property. Now, you're not going to see them in public records. It's not going to show up anywhere, and this trust agreement goes in your file cabinet. The only people that actually only ever see it is if you go to a title company to sell it, they want to make sure they're selling it to the right people and giving the right people the proceeds. So it's very basic. You've got your beneficiary or actual owner. You've got your trustee or manager, which is Palm Beach Investor Association as trustee. And then you basically got our P.O. box. You come down here and you name it. Here we named it PBC CRA because we're in Palm Beach County. CRA could stand for a lot of different things, Community Redevelopment Agency or Community Restoration Agency, but we do the initials. That way nobody knows who really owns it. A lot of times we're buying certain neighborhoods and all of a sudden so will somebody else. I'd like to get a bunch of properties in a good neighborhood once I find a really good one before everybody else. So basically we name the land trust on number one. Number two is the trust property. It's a little repetitive, but that's the whole idea of a land trust. So it says down here, to wit, PBC CRA 5792 Land Trust. And then this is very important because otherwise the trustee shall hold title in Palm Beach Investors Association, LLC as trustee and not personally of Palm Beach Investors Association, LLC. Now that's very important because the trust itself could be sued, but they don't really know who the beneficiary is. They would have to take trustee or manager into court just to get them to divulge who the actual owner of the property is. That's about the only way. And the trustee could actually resign. He could be in another state. There's all kinds of ways of making this to your advantage, not only for selling properties, and the deed would never change. You would always say PBC CRA 5792 Land Trust if it was a cash transaction and another investor bought it, which investors sell each other properties in and out of land trust all the time because they realize there's not a lot of closing costs. Because the deed is staying the same, you're just changing a few of the documents, which would be the change of trustee or change of beneficial interest. Now, this is verbiage here, trust purpose. You can read that if you want. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Consideration. I've used this same exact land trust agreement for about the last 14 to 15 years, and it's been through many, many title examiners, and it works, and it's a good one. Consideration, you can pay the guy $10, but basically the verbiage is in here about the rights and duties. If you get hung up on all this reading, it's not going to do you any good, because this is a good land trust agreement. It has everything in there that's necessary to hold the title to the property and get paid at the end. Rights and duties of the beneficiary. This has to do with the trustee and the powers of the trustee. We're going to roll right through that. Just keep going, keep going. And it's all basically verbiage, just like a lot of stuff. Liability, compensation, the beneficiary jointly agrees to give the guy $100 per year for his or her services as trustee. There's a lot of attorneys that will be the trustee. They do that as a service, so you'll see like whatever the attorney's name is as trustee of whatever the name of the land trust, and that attorney, if he does it for a business and charges money, you know, he may have 1,000 out there, but that's not his properties. He's just the trustee or the manager. It kind of takes the, you know, if you don't really want everybody to know what you have or where it's at, that's a good way of it. And you could actually have judgments. You could have a lot of other things, and you could still buy and sell these properties because this is like a separate entity. All right, so we'll keep moving along. Removal of trustee, resignation of trustee. Everything's a document. You can change a trustee with a document. You can change the beneficial interest if you're the beneficiary. There's a few other forms that can be very good. All right, so we're going to keep going. And we're going to scroll through this. Okay, death or incapacity of a trustee. I never, ever, ever fill this out because if it's an LLC, there's always somebody else. Or that LLC could actually be sold to someone. So this is not really a necessary area, especially if you have 3 or 4 people in the LLC. Beneficiary not bound by trustee. Trustee is not an agent. See, these are just different things in the agreement, but basically it is the land trust. All right, so keep going down. Income tax returns, it just says the IRS, of course, they want you to file a return. That's what I was saying before. The LLC or trustee or beneficiary runs through one of those corporations just to make sure. So we're going to go down near the end because this is all just verbiage. And here we go. Okay, the trustee. Here's what you've got to do. There's one page for the trustee. My son Robert Green is the managing member of Palm Beach Investor Association. And then we had it notarized. We'll go to the next page. And there it is again, the beneficiaries. He's also a signer on that corporation. That works out very well. Then we're going to go to the last couple pages. And there you go. Known by street address 57. So this is the first time they've actually asked for the physical address. Trust property. Property put into a trust, Exhibit A. Beneficiaries and their interests. Okay, who actually owns it? Here's the owner. Palm Beach Investor Association, not the owner. The LLC, it's just the trustee. Just the manager doing business on behalf of. So these are the people that would actually get paid right here. I believe it's a very simple thing. I've been using this so many years, and if anybody has any questions on it, I mean, once you've done one and filled it out, there's only certain areas to fill out, and you're good. And the reason I use it is it's very easy to buy or sell a property in and out of a trust. There's actually a clause in the mortgage where it actually states you're allowed to put it into a trust or an LLC for asset protection or estate planning. There's just so many good reasons to do this. But I don't have to sell you on it. I use it on it every day, every time we make an offer. And we just love it. It's the greatest vehicle that was ever invented. So thank you for your time. What do you have to say, John?
No, perfect. I wanted to add that I went to the Palm Beach County site as well and typed in 5792 Mango Road. And even though you don't own this property anymore, Jeff, but the previous sale, it says Palm Beach Investors Association LLC trustee, and that's it.
Do you have that up?
I can pull that up right here. So just type in 5792 Mango
Palm Beach County property appraiser. Love it. That's your first step, first thing in the morning, looking at a property.
And then here we go.
See, we bought this from the auction, actually, right from Palm Beach County auction. It was next day money. So we got that back in June. And by October, we had already sold it. And that looks like a decent number, about 45,000. I mean, the proof is right there. Oh, actually, it is already on here that another individual had bought it. Sometimes these things are so far behind until it's crazy. But now there's 45 sitting there. Of course, we had some cost in it, but we did a minor renovation, more of a lipstick type thing. And we all made some money. Life is good. So.
Great. All right, perfect. If you guys like the video, like the YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check back for more videos on real estate topics. You have anything else to say, Jeff?
No, that's great. I can't wait to do another one. I think the next one will be on buying houses at the auction. We do that a lot. And all parts of this real estate just seem to be so difficult, but they're not. I mean, we're doing it. We're buying from the auction. We're buying from, different sites. We're developing relationships with agents that have property, but that part, they come and go because if they have product or don't have product, but you never know. All of a sudden they call you out of the blue and, hey, do you want this property? I'm like, sure. It beats us, calling people or sending out postcards and signs and all that. It's always great to have incoming calls.
Definitely.
So another tidbit.
Definitely. All right. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video. This is Jeff Green and John Rosina signing out. You guys have a nice day.
Have a great day until the next one. Thank you and goodbye.